This presentation is entitled Ground Rules for Custodians. In this video, you'll learn about ground rules for custodians. We'll go over the basic expectations and operations of being a custodian so that you can be professional, safe, and efficient while you're on the job. Here's what a well-trained custodian should know and do. Pay close attention to this video to make sure you know what we require of all our custodians. Once you have completed this video series, the next stop will be on-the-job training. A custodian should be knowledgeable about the job. You can gain knowledge by watching training videos, going through on-the-job training, studying books, and attending seminars. You can also gain knowledge by simply working as a custodian. Every day is an opportunity to learn and become better at your job. You should know how to use and maintain all of the necessary cleaning equipment for your job. You should be trustworthy and maintain high standards all the time. Morals and ethics are an important part of being a custodian. You should know and follow all the safety protocols and procedures when it comes to equipment, cleaning supplies, and the environment you're cleaning. You should leave every building cleaner and safer than it was when you arrived. Your goal should always be to make the area safer and more productive when you clean it. You should maintain a professional appearance in dress, manners, and attitude. Be courteous and friendly to customers and other staff while you're on the job. You should complete tasks efficiently and according to the quality and safety standards that are set by your cleaning company. If your supervisor inspects or corrects your work, please understand it's simply their job to ensure that you're doing your job right and meeting standards. If you're doing your job right, you won't have to worry about inspections. You must follow all these rules on a daily basis. Attend work when you're supposed to. We depend on you to show up for your job every time you're scheduled. This is your primary responsibility as a cleaning professional. You should arrive at work on time, rested, and ready to perform your job. If you're repeatedly late, don't arrive at work, or you arrive too tired to perform at your best, you may be disciplined and your employment could be terminated. Signing in and signing out. When you arrive at work, you need to personally sign in at the start of your shift and sign out at the end of your shift. You need to do this on a timely basis. This includes clocking in and out for your lunch break, and if you forget to clock in or out, notify your supervisor. What to do if you can't arrive on time? If you know that you'll be late or unable to attend your shift, you should notify your supervisor as far ahead as possible. Notify them at least 6 hours beforehand if at all possible. Tell them your reason for being late or absent, and let them know when you'll be able to arrive. If you're over 30 minutes late and have not notified your supervisor, you could potentially lose your right to work the rest of your shift. No matter the reason for your tardiness, you will only be paid for the amount of time that you actually work. You will be allowed breaks and lunch breaks depending on the length of your shift. It is your responsibility to return promptly to the workstation after your rest breaks and meal breaks. Taking longer breaks or failing to return will result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. What to do in case of inclement weather? If the company doesn't declare an emergency closing, you're still expected to report to work if at all possible. However, if you are unable to report to work due to severe weather and you notify your supervisor before your shift, you can get an authorized unpaid absence. Unacceptable activities. Never leave your work area during working hours unless you have permission from your supervisor. Do not bring friends or family to work. Look your best. Now we'll move on to your appearance in the workplace. A clean professional appearance is a big part of good job performance as a custodian. Personal hygiene and cleanliness. When your job is to clean a building, it's important that you have a neat and clean appearance as well. You should be well groomed with clean hands and trimmed fingernails. Hygiene is incredibly important. As a professional custodian, you should wash your hands frequently to avoid cross-contaminating and recontaminating areas as you clean. You should always wash your hands before continuing to a new area while you're cleaning. Of course, you must also wash your hands before and after meals and after using the restroom. Uniform and dress code. The reason for uniforms and dress codes is simple. It helps you look neat and professional while remaining safe and comfortable on the job. Shorts, cutoffs, miniskirts are not appropriate for the workplace. Loose or baggy clothes, open-toed or high-heeled shoes, and large jewelry can be unsafe and distracting, and are not permitted. Your specific dress code may vary. Please refer to your company's policy. You may be required to wear a uniform. If so, you'll be issued company clothing or given a list of appropriate work wear. Here's an example of how to look professional as a custodian. Your shirt should be well-fitting, pressed, clean, and tucked in. If there's a button-down collar, it should be buttoned. Your pants should be pressed, clean, and in good repair. They should not be baggy or loose. You should wear a belt to ensure a professional appearance. Your shoes should be clean and in good repair. They should be comfortable with non-skid soles and a safe heel height. Do not wear old sneakers, sandals, or open-toed shoes. Your badge or name tag should always be worn when you're in the workplace. Make sure it's easy to see. Personal protective equipment. For your own safety, you may need to wear PPE or personal protective equipment. This can include safety glasses, non-slip shoes, and gloves. If this safety clothing and equipment is required by your company's policy or OSHA regulations, the company will either provide the clothing and equipment or reimburse you for the expense. Duties and tasks. Custodial jobs are very important to keeping a facility running smoothly. There are hundreds of detailed operations and ground rules that you need to know. When you arrive for your shift as a housekeeper, you'll get your work assignments for the day. You will also receive short safety training and a reminder of the ground rules for being a housekeeper. Important things to remember. Here are some of the rules of being a professional custodian. Go about your work quietly. In some cases, you'll be cleaning while the building is occupied. Don't disturb anyone while cleaning. If someone redisturbs an area after you've already cleaned it, let your supervisor know. They may ask you to file a report as evidence that you completed your task. Act friendly and considerate. As a professional custodian, you need to be polite, kind, and considerate to others. Smile and project a good attitude when you're around coworkers and clients. Follow your assigned duties closely. You will get a list of job assignments at the beginning of each shift. Do everything on the list. Don't skip anything. Your supervisor is trained to notice if you skip a task. Do not touch or throw away any documents. Unless you know for a fact that it's okay to throw something away, don't do it. Throwing away an important document could be disastrous. Sometimes, items not intended for the trash are placed on or near waste baskets. Find out the proper trash removal procedures in your building. In many cases, an item stored by the waste basket must be labeled trash before you can discard it. Pick up trash wherever you see it. If you're not sure whether something is trash, do not throw it away. However, if something is obviously litter, throw it away even if it's outside your assigned area. Some examples of litter would be a candy wrapper or apple core on the ground. Do not do extra cleaning. Aside from picking up random litter, if you are not assigned to clean an item or area, don't do it. Sometimes, items only require occasional cleaning. Follow your daily cleaning schedule or job list at all times. Do not block doorways and walkways. Never obstruct building entrances or exits, hallways, sidewalks, corridors, lobbies, elevators, stairways, or fire escapes. Keep these areas clutter-free and make sure there's always at least 3 feet of clearance to ensure safe passage. This is required for convenience as well as fire safety. Don't rearrange furniture. You may need to move furniture for cleaning, but make sure to return it to where you found it when you're done cleaning. Don't leave cleaning supplies and equipment behind. When you're finished with your cleaning task, check the area to make sure you aren't leaving any supplies or equipment. Return all supplies and equipment to the supply closet when you're done for the day. Reporting to your supervisor. If you find an item that has been lost or misplaced by a client, report and return it immediately. If you find mechanical malfunctions like non-working appliances, leaky plumbing, broken floor tiles, or other inconveniences and safety hazards, report it to your supervisor. If you accidentally break something, report that to your supervisor. Of course, you should try to keep accidents like this to a minimum. Your materials and supplies. You will have certain supplies and equipment that you need to perform your custodial duties. You will receive all the supplies and equipment you need, and you're responsible for making sure your cart or your custodial closet is stocked. Keep your custodial supply closet neat and fully stocked, and if you can't find the right supplies or equipment, notify your supervisor. Make sure your solution containers are full when you leave the supply closet so that you don't get caught short. This way, you can keep working efficiently. Make sure to keep your equipment in good running condition. This will make your job easier and will ensure that you can always work efficiently and finish tasks in a timely manner. Learn how to properly maintain your equipment through training videos and repair booklets. When you fully understand how your machines and equipment work, your knowledge will come in handy. However, sometimes something will break and it will be beyond your ability to fix. When this happens, let your supervisor know and request a repair or replacement. Never bring cleaning supplies from home to use at work. We choose our chemicals and supplies for a reason, and only our supplies and equipment are authorized to be used in the facility. Also, never take any cleaning supplies home with you. This is considered stealing. Everyone needs to do his or her part in making sure the workplace remains safe. You need to be able to identify unsafe conditions and take note of all safety rules as you go through your daily routine. This way you can avoid and prevent hazards while you're on the job. To keep yourself and other people safe, remember the following rules. Pay attention to your surroundings. Be on the lookout for unsafe conditions and fix or report them to your supervisor. Get help moving heavy or difficult objects. Use your equipment and tools properly. Do what you can to reduce workplace stress. Always wear the right clothing and safety equipment for the job. What to do if someone is injured. Report all on-the-job injuries that happen to you or anyone else in the vicinity. If an accident occurs, tell your supervisor right away, even if the injury is only minor. In case of emergency, call 911. As we discussed earlier, you should always be considerate, friendly, and constructive when interacting with fellow workers and your supervisor. Here are some more ways to avoid problems in the workplace and be courteous and considerate at work. Unacceptable behavior. We will not tolerate any of the following behavior. These actions go against our policies and procedures and will result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. Report any incidents of any of the following behavior to a supervisor and/or human resources representative. Harassment and discrimination. This includes verbal and physical confrontations that are harassing or disrupting to others, or that create a hostile, intimidating, or offensive work environment. Harassment and discrimination often includes opposition or negative language towards race, color, religion, gender, or sexual orientation. All forms of physical and verbal harassment and discrimination are strictly prohibited. Sexual harassment. Conduct such as flirting, touching, making advances, or propositions are not tolerated, no matter what relationship you may have with the other person. Theft. Taking or using anything that doesn't belong to you is theft. This includes clients' and co-workers' possessions, cleaning products and equipment. Profanity. Swearing, cursing, and any other vulgar language is never allowed in the workplace, even if you don't think any clients are around. Abusive language and threats. Any type of threat or abusive language toward anyone is strictly prohibited when you're at work. Pranks and horseplay. Pranks, practical jokes, goofing around, and horseplay are prohibited for two reasons. It looks unprofessional, and it can also cause accidents or injury. Eating, drinking, or smoking outside of designated areas. You should be aware of the employee rest areas where you're allowed to eat and drink, and you should also know where the proper smoking areas are. Do not eat, drink, or smoke outside of these areas. Taking breaks in full view of customers. Custodians and housekeepers shouldn't take breaks at the front entrance or lobby of a building. It doesn't project a good image to customers and clients. Coming to work under the influence. Never consume alcohol or take drugs before coming to work or while you're at work. Not only is this against the company drug and alcohol policy, but it can be dangerous to you and others. If you take a prescription that may impair your job performance or safety, you must notify your supervisor prior to starting your job. It is strictly forbidden for any employee to have firearms or other weapons on company property. Using music devices during work hours. Do not play music on a radio, cell phone, or any other device. Leave your devices at home or in the break area. Do not turn on the client's radios or TVs. Work quietly to avoid disturbing anyone. All forms of gambling are prohibited on the job site. Gambling at work is illegal and can lead to termination of everyone involved. Chatting excessively with coworkers and clients. While we want you to be friendly, you should not chat with clients, customers, or other workers. You may speak to be friendly or to communicate with coworkers if needed, but do not attract attention. Take care, especially in large lobbies and atria, where your voice is amplified. How to maintain building security. It's very important for custodial staff to pay close attention to security. Your client trusts you to keep their building safe along with the items in it. Make sure all entrances are locked at night, even when you're cleaning them. Never block an entrance door from closing if it's supposed to be locked, not even briefly. Don't let anyone into the building other than your fellow housekeepers or custodians. Don't go into unauthorized areas or enter work areas at unauthorized times. You may be subject to surveillance to make sure you follow the rules. Familiarize yourself with burglar and fire alarms and know the building's emergency procedures. Ask your supervisor who you should call in an emergency, such as a fire or a burglary. If you have specific access to restricted areas, such as roofs, electrical or mechanical rooms, and other restricted areas, you may not let anyone accompany you into them unless they also have specific permission. Key policy. If you are given keys, you must keep them secure and on your person at all times. Don't give keys or door entry codes to anyone. If you lose or misuse keys, you are threatening the security of the building and the items in it. Do not mark keys with the name of the building or site to which they belong. Do not let anyone borrow or use your keys. Do not copy or reproduce keys. Immediately report any lost or stolen keys to your supervisor. Failure to comply with these policies could result in termination of employment. How to comply with the confidentiality agreement. When you start your job, you may be required to sign a confidentiality agreement as a condition of employment. In some cases, you'll have to sign one for each building you work in. This is essentially a contract in which you agree not to disclose certain information about a business. This includes information about processes, sales techniques, and other trade secrets. As a general rule, don't discuss any company operations with any outsiders, and certainly not with competitors. Remember to be trustworthy and professional in every way, whether you're at work or not. How to make suggestions and complaints. We care about the safety of the workplace, and we welcome the ideas of our employees. If you have concerns about safety and health matters in the workplace, we encourage you to submit them to your supervisor. If you have a complaint about a work-related matter, such as an unsafe area or a disruptive coworker, just to name a few, please let your supervisor know. They will guide you through a formal complaint and grievance procedure. We strive to resolve all complaints and grievances promptly and fairly. If you make a suggestion that is adopted and that significantly enhances the safety of the workplace, you may be given an appropriate award. If you're in doubt about any work-related matter, just ask. We want you to be successful and efficient in your job as a housekeeper or custodian, and it's important to know and be comfortable with all your job responsibilities and tasks. When you know everything you need to know about your job, you'll be able to work and act like a true professional.